You are alive.
We got up.
We
What's up,
got up.
boys? What's going on, boys and girls? This is DJ Ace Man, Big Don, Kai, right here today, right now. Any given Monday morning, we're back after 2 weeks, and we are discussing what's going on today with the trade deadline. Trade deadline has been gone for the past 2 hours, so we're going to go talk a little bit about some of the deals, and also we're going to be discussing just some of the overall MLB trajectory of some of the teams right now. But what's up, boys?
Well,
Not much. How about yourself?
Good, good.
Cool.
Yeah, back after 2 weeks. We took a little bit of a break, but we are back now. And today is a big one. A lot of blockbusters went down. I think this one is going to be very memorable.
yeah, we got the big one that went down today, and
We're gonna
also
go into the big one already.
bunch of other teams that are a lot of obvious moves that are made by contenders, bolstering their roster. We got some teams that are trying to compete for a playoff spot, and we got, of course, the fire sales that ended up happening, and some that surprisingly didn't. So we're gonna be covering all of that. Right now, we got the people at CBS to help guide us along the way in terms of what's going on with the MLB. And yeah, we're gonna look over some of the trades that went down. All right, should we
No, let's
start
just
with
get to
the
let's just
with
get to
obvious?
Soto.
Let's get to
So let's
Soto
start with
because
the
Yeah.
behemoth.
the
So a couple weeks ago, Washington Nationals right fielder Juan Soto, who's 23 years old, he's already an MLB champion, just home run derby champion too, denied a 15-year, $440 million contract with the team. And this opened a lot of eyes to MLB officials. Also, a lot of analysts were saying this was a big, crazy idea, but this brought Soto into contention for the trade deadline. And just today, this afternoon, uh, Juan Soto and the Padres agreed to a deal that would send Soto and Josh Bell, who's the first baseman for the Nationals, to the Padres for several players, including Mackenzie Gore, outfielder Robert Hassel III, and shortstop CJ Abrams. And this one right here was a big one because a lot of people are now questioning, are now really discussing the Padres and their hopes of making it into the playoffs. They failed last year. They had a failed end of the season. But this year, they have a lot of star power on it. You have Tatis Jr. You also have, now you have Soto,
Machado.
Machado too. And I mean, this team has been really good throughout the year. They're right now sitting at a wild card spot. They can still take on the Dodgers. Right now, they'd have to go on a big win streak, but I think that still is the possibility too. But right now, they're really eyeing one of the two top wild card spots or the third one. And today was a big one. But let's just talk about it a little bit. Also, the Nats also acquired James Wood, Jarlin Susana, and Luke Voigt, former Cardinal and Yankee.
CJ
Um,
Abrams is probably the best
yep,
piece.
Abrams.
Ever.
Yep,
Yeah.
CJ Abrams too.
I
So
mean,
this one is a wild one.
It's a big one too, and also they got Josh Bell, the Padres
Yep.
as well. Josh
yep, he's
Bell
gonna
is
be
pretty quality. He's a
slotting into
quality
the
bat.
first base right there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think the Padres didn't really give up that much.
Nah.
I mean, where was Gore ranked in terms of their top prospects, ranking wise?
I think
let's
they
see
were all
here.
like top 10.
Okay. Yeah, because that makes sense. The Nationals wouldn't have agreed to it in terms of if they're going to give away prospects, and they said we'll only give you ones in maybe like the top 10, like the lower of the 10 to maybe the top 15. They would have wanted like someone in the top 5 easily,
Mhm.
and probably another one as well, because Juan Soto is one of those generational talents that you don't take just very little for. It's
Yeah,
also
looking.
interesting they got Josh Bell out of it too. I was
Mhm.
actually I'm surprised not as many people are talking about that as much, that they were able to get Josh Bell too, who is a quality bat.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. I mean, right now with the lineup, I think you're just looking at an absolute behemoth of murderer's row of hitters right there. Especially you can get Soto up and going,
Mhm.
and they didn't really give up that much. I know the Padres farm system is not that deep. The best prospect right now is according to MLB is Luis Campuzano, who is a catching prospect. He's ranked number 52.
The Mets.
They didn't obviously they didn't give him up.
I mean, with the Nationals, it's pretty much there's tons of things going on right now. The team might get sold, and Juan Soto, that was surprising that he didn't accept the trade, but at the same time, being stuck there for 14 to 15 years is something's gonna happen
Mhm.
during that time. I don't know what's been the longest contract in MLB history, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of them.
I mean, he got
I-
proposed the longest contract in MLB history when he was up for like 15 years and I think north of $400 million.
440.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so it was okay, yeah, but
But he
there
turned that
was.
down because, well, it's the Nationals.
Well, it's just too long as well, being on the
Mhm.
team for 14 year or 15 years as well,
Mhm.
and also with what's happening to the Nationals, as I said before, it's not looking very good for them. So he probably
Mhm.
just wanted to get out as soon as possible. And what will have to happen with the rest of his contract, because he's on the Padres, is the Padres will have to win at least one World Series to make the trade look good. If they don't, well, it looks okay. Because
Yeah,
then he'll
World
probably
Series are
just
bust for them.
he'll
Mhm.
probably test free agency after that, unless the Padres are willing to pay him the big bucks. But
Mhm.
that's the objective now. This is the Padres saying, we're gonna put in all of our chips we got right now, and it's World Series or bust these next
Mhm.
3 years. But the problem is they still have to deal with Big Brother Dodger. They have
Mhm.
to
I
deal
think
with the
that's their
Dodgers
number
pretty
one goal
much,
right
and
now. I think it's just to compete with Big Brother.
yeah.
At least they got to get over that hump.
I honestly thought the Dodgers would make more moves after that. There was talks that they would go for Contreras and Ian Happ of the Cubs, but they didn't make many moves.
Yeah, that was very interesting. But I think today the big winner, I would probably say, is the Padres because of all the players that they got today. I mean, the big one with the Soto deal, but they also got a couple
Josh
other
Hader.
players too. They got Hader
Mhm.
from Milwaukee, and they got a couple other players. I think Drury. I think they got him too.
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
Brandon Drury
Brandon
from.
they got him
Drury as
last
well.
minute.
Yeah, so that right there, I mean, they're really stacking up a team to compete against the Dodgers. And the Dodgers, they got Joey Gallo. And they've
Decent.
also had I think that's all they got for today. I don't know a lot of who else they got.
No,
But
that's
I
right.
mean
They got Joey
they they already have like a pretty decent team. So I'm kind of surprised they even pursued him to begin with. Um But yeah, that's going to be the big thing. Who's going to take? Is somebody going to overtake the Dodgers? And honestly, I don't know. The Padres, even in past years when they played the Dodgers in that playoffs from 2 years ago, 2020, they did not play that well against them. And I think the Dodgers are a better team on paper. They're playing really well. They're playing really good baseball right now. They're the second out of the top 30 teams. Um, Decent pitching, good hitting, just an overall team filled with all stars. Um, so yeah, that's going to be the main thing. But I think also you look at the Giants, and they can be a wild card just for the
I mean,
they could
They were selling,
honestly.
but yeah, I like the optimism.
I mean,
The
they're a
problem
500
with
team right now. They're
yeah,
very similar to the Red Sox in a lot of ways, but they're still not out of the race yet. I think there's like that 5 team wild card race out in the NL. And they're still sticking around. It really is going to depend, though, on how well they can beat up on the D backs and the Rockies.
that's the thing though. Comparing was if you were to compare the Red Sox to the Giants, I understand where you're coming from. That is, they were hyped up so much, and that they've been kind of blowing up as of lately. But the thing is, it feels like the Giants have an easier road than the Red Sox do because it seems like lots of American League teams right now are just stacked. I mean, in terms of the teams that are ahead of the Red Sox right now, they've greatly improved and they've done so
yeah,
much better as well
yeah. I mean,
versus
even in their own division. I mean,
versus the Giants teams, the Giants can easily overtake them.
Mhm.
So the Giants have, in terms of if we were to compare the two, they have a higher chance of making the playoffs than a team like the Red Sox. The Red Sox is going to take a lot. And the problem is one of those teams that is ahead of them will set a franchise record of the most runs allowed at Fenway Park.
Mhm.
yeah, and the Blue Jays did get up little bit during the trade deadline. But
Well, they
I know you
got
had
up
a,
at the
I know
end.
DJ Jason had a rant ready for this stream because of the Red Sox. Let's just say the Red Sox's lack of direction. So I'm going to give you the floor here.
All right. So I think the key takeaways from this, just this year's trade deadline, was very confusing. Before the trade deadline, there were talks that JD Martinez was going to be on the move. Xander was going to be on the move. Even Rafael, they were even pursuing him to leave. So there were projections that other players with expiring contracts were going to be on the go. Since then, Rafael got injured, so he's on the injuries list. Xander, they later said that Xander, we will not be considering trading you, so you're going to stay for the rest of the year. Chris Sale also got injured, line drive off of his fist. He'll be out for a couple more weeks. And JD Martinez has been playing, and they said that they're not going to pursue trading him too. So right then and there, I said, okay, it looks like they're just going to keep the same team. They're a 500 team right now. They were as good as 11 games over 500 at one point in the season, but for the past several weeks, they have been playing horrible baseball. That awful series against the Blue Jays, terrible series against the Yankees, and also some iffy baseball against the Cleveland Guardians too, and pretty bad baseball against the Milwaukee Brewers this past weekend. So I was getting very nervous as a Red Sox fan as to what this would look like, since they did have a horrible outing right after the All-Star break with that embarrassing 28-5 loss. Um, and I was really thinking that they were going to get a lot more pitching, that they really needed to focus on pitching because 3 out of their 5 starting rotation were injured. Chris Sale, you also had Evaldi injured, but he came back. You had Chris Sale, though. He was the main injury that a lot of people were talking about. Rich Hill, who also is injured as well. And they were just filling in spots of bringing up people from the Woo Sox. And they were really relying on Pivetta because he's been that one pitcher this whole year that has not had any injuries. So I was really thinking that they were going to get a lot more pitching for the bullpen for help, but instead they get rid of Diekman, which I didn't think was a great idea. And they also, this big weird trade yesterday with Christian Vasquez, who's been our best catcher for quite a while. You have Plawecki, who can barely hit above 220. He's going to be the starting catcher. And you also get Reese McGuire, who he's okay. I still think that this Vasquez trade didn't make sense, and also didn't make sense on the Astros, because the Astros have Martin Maldonado, who's a really great defensive catcher, one of the best in baseball defensively. And to get him didn't really make a lot of sense. I didn't know why they got him. Maybe they're trying to move him maybe to first base or something, but that didn't make sense. And today, Eric Hosmer, who's batting around 270, I believe he's batting 272 at the moment, who's had better days in the past. The Padres decided to dump him off to Boston instead of him denying DC because of how bad it is there. Was also weird. And they also have Tommy Pham too from the Reds. So it's been a really weird trading deadline. They bought more players than they sold players. But again, I was very confused by letting go of Christian Vasquez. I was also, at the moment, when they got rid of Vasquez, I was kind of hoping they got rid of JD because he's going to be a free agent. But again, they didn't pursue that, and just Christian Vasquez and Diekman are gone. So it's been a weird it was very confusing. It doesn't seem like the front office understands fully where they want to go. And it also shows you that although there are 3 games back from the wild card, they still needed a lot more pieces. And I thought that this year they would buy a couple more players, but they didn't go like that. So they're kind of in the middle, and it's a little disappointing.
Yeah, I agree with that too. In terms of when I saw the Vasquez trade, and it's funny because today the Red Sox were playing the Astros and
Yeah,
they beat the
yesterday, yeah.
Astros.
Yeah, and
And
then you get to
you just
do the
see
interview.
on, I think MLB Trash Talkers was it their PSR team or whatever, their PR team, the Red Sox. They had to tell Vasquez, "Hey, you gotta get away from the media right now. We just traded you
Mm-hmm.
It was
to
probably
the team
funny
right
is
across from you." But that was kind of interesting to say the least that they went ahead with that deal, because now, as I was looking up Plawecki, yeah, he's batting 175 right now,
Mm.
and He's been on the team for about 3 years now.
Mhm.
I don't know what they're doing. I think they maybe just either want to probably bring up someone from the minor league system to develop over time.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess, but they're not like Oakland. The reason why I say they're not like Oakland is because Oakland, we've drafted a ton of top prospect catchers.
Mhm.
It just doesn't make any sense why they
Yeah, it
did
really
that,
does
and
not.
also why they went for position players like Tommy Pham and Eric Hosmer, because they already have players that can play those positions. I think it's
Mhm.
because of the injuries that are happening right now with the team that they just
Yep.
want to plug the hole for now to possibly get back to their winning ways for the short period of time, or to appease the fan base for a little bit, even
Mhm.
though they realized the fan base really wanted more so pitching. And they didn't really do that. They instead got rid of Jake Diekman, who, while his ERA and his stats don't really show it, he was still an important
He was
piece to the team.
efficient. He was
Well, yeah, he
efficient.
was efficient compared to everyone else on the team. The pitching has always been the number one problem with the Red Sox for quite some time. And I mean, they just didn't do it. And they're kind of just relying on injured players to come back and pitch 100%, even though they know it's not going to happen. Like, the only one that can possibly do that is Chris Sale. But here's the thing. They're probably going to want to get rid of Chris Sale this next year or the year after. And the thing is,
Mhm.
they're going to try and trade him away. No one's going to want to trade for Chris Sale because the Red Sox will be asking too much for Chris Sale. They'll be asking for a first rounder or a big name. They're not going to get that at all. They'll be lucky if they get a second rounder for him or even like a top prospect. They'll just be getting maybe scraps because teams realize Chris Sale sadly gets injured a lot and it takes him a long time to recover. So you're pretty much just playing with fire and ice right now, pretty much with Chris Sale of, oh, he's going to do well, or uh-oh, he's injured and he's not going to do anything at all. He's also not very good during the playoffs, surprisingly. I mean, he's okay, but as of, I think, last year's playoffs, I think he had a 8.63 ERA, which I was surprised by. And also statistically, past that in playoffs, he's just not very good.
Mhm.
But overall, and also with the JD Martinez trade talk you had,
Yep.
no team wanted to take on the contract. No team wanted to take on his contract, I think, about because of the amount of money that the Red Sox still owed him.
Mhm.
No one wanted to take it on. That's why. And the Red Sox would probably just want to eat it up instead and then just let him go.
Yeah.
Because while he is an efficient hitter, I'm actually surprised. I think he's batting more so in the lower 300s or even like the mid 200s because he's normally one of the most efficient hitters in the MLB. It's started to regress a little bit.
Yep.
But the thing is now, since lots of teams can use designated hitters compared to before, the demand is not going to be as high for him,
That's true. Yeah.
which is quite sad. But at the same time, I mean, it's a lot, but right now I think it's the Red Sox are just trying to appease the fan base to give them, as I say, kind of a sense of false hope to say that we're going to make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, then they look like geniuses,
Mhm.
right? If they don't,
The high
then
broom effect.
yeah, no. If they don't make the playoffs at all and they just start to tank, which I don't think they will start to tank. If they do, that'd be a surprise to me. If they start to do that, then what we're talking about right now will come to fruition and make the Red Sox organization not look very good and have a black eye for them for quite some time.
Yeah. I think I think that there's been several issues as to why they are not that great this year. One, there's been a lot of injuries. I just pulled up their depth chart. And the other day, I mean, they had Chris Sale, he was one of their pitchers, Michael Walker, and they just changed their fifth pitcher. Cutter Crawford was not even on their roster yesterday. They had Rich Hill, who's now off the roster as of right now. Matt Strom's also injured too. So you have those pitchers. So they were really doing bullpen. They were really throwing a bullpen game a lot. They had Garrett Whitlock going a lot, or Austin Davis has also been. They moved him to a starter too. Tanner Houck has become the honorary closer, and they have Nick Pivetta and Evaldi as like their main pitchers. Evaldi was injured up until July, like early July, so he just came back recently. And Pivetta has been the only starter all year that was really in their first day starting rotation. So that right there has been an issue. The pitching has been bad. They also have had a really iffy bullpen too. I mean, Schreiber has been pitching extremely well for them. Brazier has been doing relatively well, but I think Whitlock has been their best pitcher in the bullpen, and then Hauk has been really lights out. And then catching position, Plawecki was really their second string up until a while, until this whole trade yesterday. And he hasn't been batting well. Reese McGuire is batting 225 right now. He's had at least 120 at bats with the White Sox this season. He's doing okay with them, but I think that it was an issue as to why to get him. And then also you have let's see here. They just put well, he's actually not on the list right now, but they had Franchi Cordero, but he's not on the list right now for some reason. But yeah, now they have Eric Hosmer as a first baseman. That's a big upgrade because Franchi's been struggling. Trevor Story's been injured for quite a while now, so they've been putting Yolmer Sanchez, who bats below 100. He's their second baseman for right now, or Christian Arroyo. It's been back and forth. Shortstop been Xander the whole year. Rafi, I mean, they've been putting Bobby Dahlbeck as third baseman and Christian Arroyo, but then their outfield has been pretty well. So again, it's really weird to I think that it's been the reason why they have struggled so much is one, pitching, two, their batting has been bad, and three, they have been having awful fielding games too. I mean, you look at that Toronto game, they had 3 errors. Last night they had 3 errors against the Astros and still won that game. That was wild. But that's the issue with them. They have not had great fielding this year. Batting has been all over the place, and their pitching has just not been consistent. And that's the reason why they're a 500 team in 3 games out of the wild card.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, totally. And also the problem too is I would say is age,
Mhm.
especially with lots of the starting pitching. They're veterans. There's not
Yep.
that many of the younger players that they've brought up or that they've traded for that are, possibly really good. Like a team
Yep.
like I think was it the Blue Jays just trade for Mitch White, who
Yep.
I've seen him play a little bit, and he's got potential. He was on the Dodgers and he pitched against the Giants. He got the win.
Yeah, they have
He played
Manoah
pretty
too.
well. Yeah.
Alek Manoah, he's been pitching really well. He's an all-star this year. He's like 24 years old. The Red Sox have been bringing up more players. They brought up Brian Bello, who's 23 years old. Cutter Crawford, I believe, is under 25. And they also have Winkowski, who's 23 years old. So they have had a few younger players pitch. Hauk is also like under 25 years old. So they have had like younger arms, but yeah, for the most part, the starting rotation's above 28. Evaldi, Pavetta, Waka, so he's a veteran. Chris Sale's a veteran. Evaldi, of course, has been in the league for a while too, and Pavetta as well. And yeah, that's also an issue. I mean, they're more prone to get injured since they've been in the league a lot longer. Chris Sale has dealt with injuries, got Tommy John surgery. So they've really been the pitching has been bad because of age, injury, a whole lot of factors. And it's just been unfortunate because this season, this team has been very similar to last season. Pretty much the same roster for the most part. You add Trevor Story, that was a big signing. He hasn't been playing that well. You have Franchi Cordero too. You brought back Jay Bradley Jr. But again, I think losing a couple players like Hunter Renfroe really has hurt the team, and I think that will. You also lost Erod too, so two big pitcher and a big hitter. That could have played a role as well in this team.
And that's the thing. Eduardo Rodriguez was actually one of your top pitchers, or he was your top pitcher
Yep,
last year too. He was the most consistent out of all of them. And then where is he now? He's on.
Detroit, I think.
He downgraded. Okay.
Well, what happened too is that during the COVID year, he actually sat that out. So 2019, he had an unbelievable year. Like, I think ERA below 3. He had like 16 wins on the year or 19 wins, something like that. He had an amazing year, but during COVID, he got COVID and he had a really bad, really bad effects to his heart. And it required him to sit out of baseball for a year. So he came back in 2021. He played a couple games, but his contract was up, and the Sox said, "Okay, it's time to let you go." I think he did not. He declined the option that they gave him, and he pursued free agency, and he went to Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a sad situation. Honestly, I think that was a big blow to the Red Sox bullpen and pitching in general.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on pretty much. I would say majority or everything. Pretty much. It's just I wonder why they want to make these moves.
Mhm.
I just believe it's possibly because they don't want to come out there as saying the season's almost lost or it doesn't look very good for us. We're probably not gonna make it.
Mhm.
They want to make it look a little bit as if they're still in the running because they still have a chance. The only issue is the teams they have to go against right now, which is right now the Orioles, the
I'll pull up the
Guardians, the
schedule.
Mariners, the Rays, and the Blue Jays. That's surprising though. The Orioles have actually been a pretty good team.
Yeah, Red Sox
We
are
got
a
rid of my man
500
Trey
team.
Mancini. Rest in
Yeah, they
peace.
Yeah.
traded him. Didn't make sense,
They
but
traded Mancini to the Mariners, I think, right? Or no?
Mancini
no
went to the
to
Astros.
Yeah, he went to the Astros. That's right.
Astros.
So he
Yep,
upgraded.
It's like,
yep. They're playing that Houston right now, and then they go on the road to Kansas City, host Atlanta and Baltimore, and then the Yankees, and then they go to Pittsburgh, Baltimore, come back to play. Oh, this is going to be a tough stretch from the. Well, actually, this is going to be a tough stretch starting with the Baltimore game from the 19th all the way to the 31st. So that's going to be a tough stretch. You got Baltimore, Toronto, Tampa, Minnesota right now trying to hold on to the AL Central. And then again, September is going to be a hard month too. You play the Rays, Orioles,
yeah, there's your
Yanks.
cupcakes because right there with the
The Royals and the Reds.
Yeah, it's the little
Yeah.
cupcake
and then you
stretch.
get more Yankees and then more Baltimore and then
Yeah, from the
Yeah,
22nd all the way to the 5th. That's going to be a horrible. They play
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
games against opponents at the end of the year. I'd say a
yeah. I
majority of their
mean,
games are against AL East teams.
AL East teams, but the thing is, all the AL East teams are all playoff contenders and possibly even better than the Red Sox. And what's funny too is I think the teams ahead of the Red Sox, the Orioles, the Guardians, the Mariners, and the Rays, and the Blue Jays, they have much lower salary caps than them, possibly even some of them combined, and
they
they're
do.
doing better than the Red Sox, who are in the top 5 or top 6 for salary caps.
Yeah, you think with a guy like
That's
Chime
embarrassing right
Bloom,
now. That's embarrassing.
you think with a guy like Chime Bloom as your as the guy running the show there. I mean, he came from the Tampa Bay system, which was notorious for maximizing their limited payroll, and now he can't do. And now he's kind of doing the, I don't know, the Tampa shuffle, as you like to say,
Mm-hmm.
where he's kind of just like swapping players in and out, and then just have no idea what direction they're going in. But I
Mm.
don't even know that that's going to work for the Red Sox now because I mean, they got they got a lot of question marks there, and look, and the teams ahead of them are just I mean, the Blue Jays made some moves, and obviously Seattle got up. It's gonna be a tough battle for them to climb to get those 3 wild card spots there.
Well,
Yep.
the thing is, too, in the long run, for these teams, they're much younger than the Red Sox. Majority of these teams ahead of them are much younger and they have a brighter future right now. In terms of if in, let's say, the next 3 years, each team were to keep the same roster, the Red Sox would be near the bottom
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're
easily
just starting to see the tail end
of
of
some of the players.
what the Red Sox are in terms of like their championship roster.
Yeah,
And I'm
it's
surprised
starting to fade.
they didn't go with the fire sale deal this offseason, this trade
Yeah,
deadline, because I think it could have got something out of return, but I don't know. It's just a very confusing direction for the Red Sox.
I will keep
Mhm.
saying that to any Red Sox fan. You should have traded Chris Sale when you could have.
And JD, because I don't think they'll be back.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But the
here's
thing
the
is,
thing.
they'll
I
be
think
asking for too much.
there's a lot of teams that we thought were going to sell, but didn't actually sell. Like I can give you a couple names here. Wilson Contreras, one of the best catchers in baseball.
Mhm.
He didn't get shipped off from the Cubs, along with Ian
Ian
Happ.
Happ.
Yeah.
There was rumors that Ian Happ was going to go to the Dodgers. Instead, they got Joey Gallo, which, I mean, we'll get to the Yankees in a little bit. There's also teams like the Giants who didn't ship off Carlos Rodon and then Jock Peterson, who were rumored to be traded. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we talked about the Giants enough. I think they're having they do have a chance to get into the playoffs, and I think with a lot of these teams here, I think it's just going to be trying to maximize as much momentum as possible. Because
Mhm.
baseball is a sport where if you're the hottest team in the league come playoff time, you do have a shot of getting to the World Series. So,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh my
this is the
God.
time in the year where anything can happen pretty much.
also,
Where even some of the worst teams out there can make the playoffs somehow. I
and
mean,
going
it
back to
was
the Red Sox, I mean, Martinez was very much in the trade pool for them,
$2.
and of course there were rumors like he was going. I thought he was honestly going to go to the Mets. I'm surprised the Mets didn't do that much at the deadline because there are some names there that the Mets could have got. Also, shout out to Sean Murphy, who's still in the A's.
Yeah, Sean Murphy was actually supposed. They were talking with the Guardians. Since you mentioned Sean Murphy, we'll do the little Oakland A's fire sale segment real quick. Which it didn't feel like a fire sale. It felt like we got rid of the player that we wanted or that we needed to, and that was it.
Yeah,
But
they shipped him
yeah,
to my team.
yeah, you should. Well, of course, it was either the Yankees or I don't know who else we will ship them to. I forget, but I mean, it was the best case scenario. We got some good prospects from you. I think we got about 4, but I just wonder why we gave away Luke Trevino as well. Because the thing
Mm.
is, I compare that trade to the Luis Castillo trade where they just traded away Luis Castillo and they got the same amount of prospects, even possibly better prospects
Yeah,
for
I think they did
just
get
Luis
better
Castillo.
prospects. I mean,
Yeah, versus the Oakland Athletics, they had to give away Luke Trevino as well. Who I'll tell you this: if the Yankees put Luke Trevino in as a closer and he does really well, I'm gonna freak out because
yeah,
as a closer for Oakland, he was horrible.
I mean
Well,
he's
not
having a
horrible. He
down
was not
season.
very good.
His ERA is above 5, so I mean, but he
Mm.
does have a good strikeout to walk ratio. Maybe the Yankees can try to work around that and try to maybe get like maybe turn into a reclamation project similar to what they did with Clay Holmes, which now Clay Holmes is a freaking beast. But yeah, shifting towards freaking New York here.
Oh,
But
here we go, Oakland.
here we go.
Here
I
we
think the
This
go.
is
Yankees
the
did what they
yeah.
I think they did what they needed to do during the deadline. They got pretty much all the positions they needed, which was outfielders and then just additional pitching depth. Before the trade deadline, they acquired Andrew Benintendi for the Royals. I actually went to his first home game,
A
and ironically they were playing the Royals, so he was able to start right away from them. And I mean, I think what they're getting in Benintendi, obviously he was a former Red Sox, so he has experience playing it in the division and even Yankee Stadium. I mean, he's a lefty bat. So they got the short right field porch, so maybe that can help him out a little bit. He's batting really well. He's cooling off a little bit right now in terms of ERA. He can walk a lot, and obviously he's a really good defensive outfielder. So Yankees have upgraded there in the outfield. And then
yeah.
in terms of other moves, there they got Scott Efros from the Cubs, who is I think he's having a pretty decent season. I think it's his rookie year, and he's he's throwing around a 2 to 3 ERA in terms of the relievers.
Yeah, they
Michael
didn't have
King,
to give away that much, right, for Efros? They
no, they
didn't have to give
didn't.
away
I think
much.
that all they really gave up was like one prospect for him.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's probably gonna bite the Cubs in the rear end. It's just gonna be gold for the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly wanted them to get David Robinson back because David Robinson he was a beast with the Yankees, but obviously he went to Philly. I'm not sure what
Phillies,
Philly's
yeah.
doing there in terms of their playoff push, but hey, I mean
They-
David Robinson. They also got Noah Syndergaard as well.
Syndergaard, yep.
But obviously the big trade was the one with the A's where they got Frankie Montez and Lou
Trevino.
Trevino.
Yeah,
With
that was
Montez, I mean they needed
that
an
was your big
additional
trade.
starter. Luis Severino's on the 60-day IL, and then I think they've been batting. They were trying to get Domingo Germán back. He has not looked very well, but so I think just getting another pitcher come playoff time is going to help them immensely. You're now looking at a pitching sort of rotation of Cole, Montez, Severino if healthy, and then Nestor Cortez, maybe Jameson Tyone. I don't know. A lot of people hate Tyone now. And
Tyon's
then
not bad. He's not a bad pitcher.
no, he's not bad at all. And then they got rid of Joey Gallo. If you've seen the exchange they had there, it was honestly very depressing for Joey Gallo. The guy was scared to go outside of his Manhattan apartment because he was afraid he was going to be
Ah,
scrutinized.
Jesus.
So he need to be
Crazy.
shipped off. I'm not sure if the Dodgers would be a good fit for him because, I mean, he's going from one big market team to another.
He'll just be used as a designated hitter or like a first baseman.
If he
I
can even
mean,
play first base.
but the thing is, I think they got him because of the recent performance of not Joey Gallo, of Cody Bellinger as of lately. Someone
Yeah,
else
I
to
mean,
plug
both
in
those
there
guys
instead of
fell
Cody
off immensely.
Bellinger. Huh?
Yeah, both those guys fell off immensely.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think they're just saying, oh, if we get Joey Gallo, we got him for cheap. Well, they didn't really get him for cheap. They had to give away their number 15 prospect to the Yankees, which to the Yankees, I would say that's not bad at all.
No, it's not. I
But
mean,
yeah, that's actually a pretty
it's
good
better than
trade for the
releasing him.
Yankees. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just because Cody Bellinger's performance this year. Lots of people are very underwhelmed by him. Now that doesn't mean everyone jump off a bridge and start saying Cody Bellinger's a bum. It's just, you have your off
Hmm.
years like of, oh, I'm not very good this year, and then next year it's like, okay, improvement.
Probably the best
Uh,
thing for the Yankees this trade deadline is they didn't really give up any of their four big prospects. Right? They kept the four big prospects right now, or Anthony Volpe, Oswald Perez, Jason Dominguez, who could be, who I think could be something good. People have been hyping up, and then Austin Wells, their catching prospect. I'm honestly a little surprised that they didn't give up like Perez for someone big because, I mean, both Volpe and Perez are shortstops, and I think Perez is probably more on the way than Volpe, but obviously Volpe's got a lot more upside than him. So I was surprised they didn't really ship off guys like Perez. Also, Miguel Andujar was a guy that requested a trade earlier on the season, and the Yankees didn't really capitalize off it. He's he moved from freaking third base to the outfield once the whole entire Gio Shell thing happened. And I mean, he hasn't been bad by any means, but I think he's up. In fact, people were chanting that he should play over guys like Joey Gallo and Aaron Hicks, which I don't necessarily disagree with. I think Andujar could be a good player, but that outfield right now is just a little bit crowded for him. So I'm surprised they didn't ship him off. In addition to that, they made one last trade in the hour where they traded away Jordan Montgomery for Harrison Bader, who was a who's a New York resident. Good center fielder. He's on the IL right now. Obviously, I think they want. I don't think they want Judge to move back into right field, and then once he's healthy, he can be the everyday right fielder, and then Bader can be the everyday. Maybe he swaps back and forth with Hicks in terms of the everyday center fielder. He's got a lot of outfield depth now, which they need. But I'm surprised they didn't. But with the Montgomery trade, I'm surprised they didn't go after like another big pitcher. Like, I think that could have been something that the Yankees could definitely need, especially with solidifying the rotation and then the uncertainty of Severino coming back from injury in time for the playoffs. But I think the Yankees pretty much got what they need to get done.
He could have stolen another player from the A's starting rotation. He could have stolen Paul Blackburn, and then Oakland probably would have immediately said, "Yeah, we'll do it."
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll take your, we'll take like one of your prospects. We'll take the guy you just gave up Joey Gallo for.
Yeah, that is honestly surprising though. That in terms of fire sales, we didn't see many fire sales today.
No, he didn't. I mean, probably the biggest one is the Reds, which I mean,
well, that was.
We feel bad for Joey Votto now.
Yeah,
he's got to play for the worst team in the MLB.
I think the Nats are still bad.
Yeah, the Nats too. I mean, that was the Nats. I can't understand. I mean, no one wants to play for the Nats now, but still, I mean, I think they could have gotten a king's ransom for friggin' Soto.
Now their top player is Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, the A's just wonder known as Nelson Cruz.
Yep, that's their games. I think it's under. I gotta see how much their tickets are now, because
probably not much.
They were $8 last year when they had Soto, so it must be even lower.
$8. Wow.
Yeah, let's go see.
So you telling me more people show up to an A's game than a Nationals game now, or am I just being very mistaken?
I don't think anyone's going to be going to a Nats game.
I'm not going to show up just for the hell of it. So
look at that; they're 35-69 right now. They had a horrible season last year too, so they had the sale last year. Yeah.
All right, let's see what SeatGeek has to say.
Let's see
Uh,
games. Tickets.
I don't know. Any other teams that got up? The Astros did. Obviously, they got Will Smith as well as guys like Mancini and Vasquez. Let's see here. The Mets at the Nationals. That's gonna be a rivalry game. Nationals at Phillies. Nationals at Cubs. I want the cheap stuff. Damn, most of these game. Nationals at Mariners. That's $8, but they're playing in freaking Miami.
Oh, here's the. I'm looking at. Let me see here.
You can go to an Orioles.
$9 for a Orioles at Nationals game.
Really? $9?
Yeah.
That feels a bit expensive.
Yeah.
For the I just found they're at the Braves. You can get tickets for $8.
Okay, there you go. Really, at the Braves, a
At
team
the
that's
Braves.
actually doing well.
Hold on, we got a Reds Nationals game. Let me see how much this is gonna
So
cost.
this is just telling me that the Nationals are still overcharging for tickets.
$13. Yeah.
Really?
Well, here's the
Wow.
thing.
Thankful.
I know that there are tickets for $8 because last year I went to a game and they played Miami, and the game was them versus Alcantara pitched that game, and that game was $8, and the food was like a lot more. It was like double that, which is pretty bad. I think when the food is higher than the price of the ticket, that's
where they're making their money.
that's a sign that something's not working with the team.
That's why, folks, you always eat before you get to the stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, get up.
Yep, you gotta get up, go to like In-N-Out Burger, or like Five Guys before you go, or a healthier option if there's one out there too, of course. But you're going to a ball game, so don't expect healthy food either.
Well, I think the Nats have actually pretty good food. They have like different options for people. So they have like pizza, they have arepas, they have I think they have taco bowls as well. So they have like a bunch of like things that you would not find at all the different ballparks. Their food's actually pretty good. And it's actually they have a this is really weird. They have like a playground at their ballpark too. It's like the weirdest thing. But yeah, their ballpark is really cool. It's new as well. So I think that's why it's more money. But yeah, that's the Nats for you.
Cheap Nats.
Yeah, the cheap Nats.
Geez, they can get Yankees tickets for $10. Okay.
In the end, though, all roads lead to the Nationals blowing it up and just hoping that they can, return to the World Series once again, such as that miraculous year in 2019. And probably the Yankees winning it all again.
I think the Astros might have something to say about that. Or at least when we get to the World Series and we play the Padres.
Don't say that.
And then I'm gonna have my doubts about the Yankees because they did not get up during that one series against the Astros. They cooled down a little bit.
Now, I think that we can all agree that the ALCS will probably be Houston and New York.
Yeah.
I'm like 95% certain that's going to happen unless one of those two teams completely has an utter fall from grace and Tampa Bay or Toronto comes.
Yeah, the closest one is the Yankees to do that, I think. The Yankees.
Yeah, because right now they're just riding out the bat of Aaron Judge.
And
the beast, Matt Carpenter.
Because the Astros are consistent everywhere. The Astros didn't really have to give away much. They upgraded pretty much.
They got Will Smith, too, from Atlanta.
Yeah.
They got rid of Odorizzi.
They got Will Smith, the man himself.
The man, he's going to slap everyone.
Nah. No, but they are,
legit.
I think, all around really well built. Same with the Yankees, though. Yankees are well constructed at all areas. They barely have a weakness now that Gallo's gone.
Yeah, goodbye,
The only thing that can beat the Yankees is themselves, pretty much. Which we've seen countless times. But
Garrett Cole will have like a meltdown.
I mean, it seems logical to say that the ALCS will be Astros versus Yankees, but I feel like we're gonna have something weird happen.
Yeah.
I feel like the Blue Jays may get up. I don't know why. I feel like the Blue Jays could make a run and make it to the ALCS.
Them Mariners is a long shot
Oh,
because
come on. Don't say that to America's team now. Come on.
Come on. We need the
I
playoff
don't.
draft
I
to
think
keep
something might
going.
happen with the Mariners. I don't know. Something tells me that the Guardians might make it, or the hold
Oh
on, the
no.
White Sox.
No.
The
No.
the guys,
Cleveland
the White
redacted.
Sox. Don't forget the White Sox. Don't forget
No.
Chicago.
Everyone. No one in the
White
city.
Sox are just disappointing.
Yeah, they are.
Hey,
White
they're
Sox.
still in the race because of how
Southside, the
bad
people
that
of
division
Southside are
is.
furious. At the
That
White Sox.
division is horrible.
If the White
So
Sox make
what?
it to the
They got-
playoffs, it's just gonna keep. Was it?
They got Tony La Russa.
Yeah, it's
Big
just
man
gonna
Tony La
make
Russa.
ownership say we need to keep Tony La Russa for 5 more years. Yeah, because we'll make the
Yeah.
playoffs every year, and they'll just keep losing.
Yeah, honestly,
not
I
even
think
make
Tony
it.
La Russa needs to enjoy retirement for good.
Yeah, I think if they don't make the playoffs, retirement time.
Yeah, he
Yes.
made some bad calls this year with that team. They were
It's like-
expected to like blow that whole division out of the water, and right now, you have Cleveland and Minnesota going neck and neck with each other for number one.
Yeah, Cleveland's
So
supposed to be like near the bottom or at the bottom.
at the bottom,
then
I
the
don't know how they
Twins-
keep doing it.
And then the Twins were like the only team that could compete with them, but at the same time, the Twins were supposed to suck outright. Still.
Yeah, I mean they got Correa, but other
They
than
got
that,
Correa. They got. I mean, they still got the iffy Gary Sanchez. Byron Buxton has remains
Oh,
somewhat
Gio-
healthy.
Gary
they have
Sanchez
Gio
got a-
Urshela too. And Urshela hit the walk off last night for them.
I mean, yeah, White Sox are probably the most disappointing team this
Yeah.
year. They are very disappointing.
They got
Because-
rid of Mercedes.
Yeah, they traded him to the Giants,
Yep.
and well, we all know what's happening with the Giants now.
Yep.
I mean,
I still think that there's capabilities. I will
But I
not
mean,
count out the
overall-
Giants until they're out.
Yeah.
You know, because look
Giants-
at that World Series run when they won it all when they were like a wild card.
oh, that was every year they won.
Hey, the
2010,
Nats did it
2012,
too.
and 2014. Every year they won, they went through the wild card.
Yeah, because older brother Nationals. No, not Nationals. Dodgers.
Well, the Nationals did the same thing though when they won.
Yeah, they did. That's what I was thinking.
They won on a friggin' they won the game because of an error in the outfield by the Brewers. That's how they won that game.
And then
I
they.
mean,
and
the
then the
Dodgers
Dodgers
Heroics
with their-
against heroics against the Dodgers.
You mean the Dodgers with their fake World Series right now, and they say they've won, legitimately?
Their Mickey Mouse trophy.
Their Mickey Mouse
Mickey
trophy,
Mouse,
yeah,
them
pretty
and
much.
them and the Lakers.
Yep, pretty
Mickey
much.
Mouse
And
Clubhouse.
they tout that around and say, "Oh my goodness, we actually won one in the past 10 years." It's like, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't. There was a 60-game season, and plus you're buying your talent like you're George Steinbrenner.
For real, you didn't get up.
Cody Bellinger now sucks. Deal
Corey
with it.
Seager's gone.
Corey
Jock
Seager.
Peterson, he's with us now. Jock Peterson's actually he's been pretty fun to have on the Giants. I hope they can keep him, but I don't think they can. It'll just be like another Chris Bryant of the big name we got, and now we have to trade him away.
Oh, jeez. And then he's going to sign with a crap team.
Mhm.
Yeah, pretty much. That's sadly how it's gonna go. But that's the funny thing too, is with every year that the past 3 years Peterson's played for, the teams, whatever team he's played for, they've won the World Series.
Yeah, that's really
Now
weird.
they got to get up.
Yep, now they gotta say, all right, we gotta get up. Why? Because he's on our team. But I mean, overall, in terms of everything that's going on right now, White Sox are a disappointment. We can all agree on that. Can I put the Red Sox as being disappointments right now?
Sure.
Okay, Red Sox.
Yeah,
are
how about we do it?
disappointments.
Do you want to do a tier list?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
do a tier list
Hey,
of
let's
like
do a tier
do
list.
it.
like post trade. for everyone out there. And you
Yeah.
can put
New
your
segment.
thoughts
Yeah,
in
let's
the
do this tier list.
comments. That way we can remember things in our old heads. Oh.
Yeah, let's get this tier list going.
All right. Tier list of, hey, that's pretty
Hey.
good. And tier list of, wow, you really sucked.
All right.
Or just like disappointing.
Yeah, biggest disappointment, biggest failure.
We got to
Well, how about
categorize
we'll call so S tier will be like World
the
Series
top
ready.
contenders.
World Series bound or something like that. Next tier is playoff. Then the other one is like wild card.
You know,
and
I'm
then-
going to turn this into a segment. Well,
Oh,
I'm going to
no.
do some editing once I download the stream.
All right.
All right. Watch this editing magic. We're going to come back to you with the categories. Playoffs.
Postseason.
we'll
Let's
call
see
them
here. I think the
postseason.
B will be the
It doesn't matter. I love how was it the MLB? They say postseason versus everyone else, or every other league says playoffs.
playoffs.
I'll say
Wild card,
card.
and then
I'll do wild card with a question because some of these teams might not make it.
we'll go with the disappointment. Your average to disappointment teams.
I'll call them, yeah. I'll say the below average. And then we'll do the
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 dumpster
basement.
fire. No,
Hold
I
on, the
want
basement.
dumpster fire.
You want dumpster?
Dumpster fire. He just wants chaos.
Chaos.
Below, you
Awesome.
know what? Instead of below average, then you can put like disappointment, disappointment,
Dumpster fire.
or you just put was it Principal Skinner just like looking down. That can just be disappointment. No, I think that's lower than just like
I
barely
would just
in
do yeah, like
dumpster fire.
dumpster fire, but I'll say like yeah, below average.
Yeah, let's just put below average just to be nice.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Geez, this first one's easy.
Yankees easy.
There, dumpster
Get-
fire.
get-
Joey Gallo.
Get to
Gone.
put them in the dumpster fire. All right, Mariners.
Seattle.
Uh,
I say
I-
wild card question.
Wild card for now. Wild card.
the MLB's really trying to make them break the curse.
We're doing everything we can right now.
The 117. Is that how many wins they got? The
All right.
curse.
Yeah,
of
it's been like
Ichiro.
20 plus years since they've not been to the playoffs. It's the longest drought in MLB history. And yeah, it's pretty depressing.
You gotta be kidding me.
All right, the Rays.
Tampa.
Postseason. Postseason.
See postseason?
Yeah,
Okay.
easily. Even if no one will show up to their games, they'll
Yep.
still make the playoffs. Which I will say they are the Florida version of the Oakland Athletics, but they at least have, they can make it far.
They have structure.
They have structure, yes, and owners that actually somewhat care a little bit. Well,
A little
not
bit.
entirely.
When they're not trying to move to Montreal.
Yeah,
Move them to the Carolinas.
yeah.
Yeah, get up, Carolina.
They get all our Carolina viewers out there. Get up right now.
Yeah, bring them to Raleigh.
And speaking of
Raleigh.
Canada,
Or Virginia.
Yeah. Oh no, because DC. I mean the Virginia team is the Nats.
Don't matter. Irrelevant.
Nah,
Doesn't
we
matter.
need
They could be
move
the-
them to
they could be the-
either Nashville or Charlotte or Raleigh.
Moving to Las Vegas, so Oakland won't move.
Nah,
There you
Vegas, the Bay Area needs only one team.
and now,
All right,
now here we
Toronto.
got
Toronto, wild card, I'd say.
Yeah, wild card question mark.
I think they're up there with the Rays.
You think
Maybe.
postseason?
Yeah, I'm thinking postseason. not?
You know what? I don't. Yeah, I agree with that. That's fine. I'm
I-
fine with that.
You
Yeah.
just not disagree with that.
No, I mean it makes logical sense though, based on the performance they've been having so far, especially coming out of the All-Star break. They've just been going off. The Blue Jays. No one's really stopping them at all. The only
All right.
the only thing that can stop them is like their pitching maybe, and that's it. But their bats have just been booming.
Mm.
It's insane. Miami dumpster fire.
Yeah, I'll put them in the dumpster fire.
Yeah, they're
I
pretty
mean, they're
much
getting
dumpster
better.
fire. But they've been like that for quite some time.
Hey, they
It's
made the
end of
playoffs 2
rebuild.
years ago.
Yeah, we count that.
So we say below average.
Yeah, I think we gotta be nice to Miami. I think there's
Yeah, I think
teams
they
that
got
are
a little bit better. They got a little bit
significantly
better.
worse than them. At least they're heading in the right direction.
All right. All right, the
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I say postseason.
I say wild card.
They've been playing weird baseball because some
That's the
days they
reason
play
why.
really well. That's why I'll probably put them in wild card because I think the Brewers right now they're a little bit better than them. All right, Hustle Town.
The Astros World
Yeah.
Series possibly.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
them and
Unfortunately,
the
we have to
Yanks.
put them there. Even though the Astros have been pretty nice as of lately to the Athletics. Surprisingly, because was it Paul Blackburn? Have you heard this story about Paul Blackburn?
No, what happened?
Okay, so supposedly Paul Blackburn, the A's weren't going to pay for a flight for him to go down to LA to represent them. And the Astros just said, "Hey, you can get on our charter jet with the other players. We'll fly you on down for free."
Damn.
Yeah. So recruiting maybe a little bit.
Mm.
And then the Astros, I think, was it because Ray Fosse passed away recently? Rest in peace, Ray Fosse, A's legend. They had like a little table or booth set up for him for the broadcasters to honor him, which
Mhm.
was really nice. But mainly it was the Paul Blackburn thing that was like, okay, this is interesting, but I'll take it. It's nice. Maybe it's they're trying to get back on people's good side.
Yeah, I mean,
That could
I'm not
be
sure
right.
that will ever happen.
But at the same time, it's like A's ownership is probably worse than the Astros ownership, easily. All right,
Yeah,
let's
that
get
still
to
is.
Atlanta.
we got Jordy's team right here.
Yeah, defending champs. Where do you think they should go?
Wild card.
You're
World
saying
Series
wild
bound.
card? You're saying World Series bound.
Yeah, I think they can make it again. I will agree to at least put them in postseason.
I think
Yeah,
postseason.
I think that's.
I will compromise at that postseason
Okay.
It's just that
because
there's
I have a
one
weird-
team ahead of them.
they're gonna screw up somehow.
Yeah, the Mets are a team that they don't have great history. I mean, they got pummeled in the World Series a couple years ago. They only won like one World Series where the Red
And
Sox
that was the Red Sox fault.
the Clowns.
Actually, they won 2 World Series.
What the hell?
Yeah, they won, but that was back in the 70s. So
That was
They're,
69. That was the same year the Jets won.
Oh no.
yeah.
The Jets.
New York
But
sports.
something
That was
tells me
when
that
was when they hit their peak.
The Braves have
Yeah, the
improved
Mets
a little
are
bit,
just-
that's why.
I'm not 100% sure with this Mets team. Again, I see weaknesses with them. I also think that the Braves are just a better team in general. And with their recent successes, I think there's more pressure on the Braves to make it back. So therefore, I will say the Braves. But all right, let's go to Baltimore, a team that has surprised a lot of people that went on that big winning streak just a month ago.
I still think I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. So, unfortunately, I am going to put them in below average. But Baltimore's good. I endorse what the Baltimore Orioles are doing.
Really? We're gonna put them in below average. I would say wild card.
I don't think they're going to make the wild card because I think down the stretch, them playing Tampa, them playing Toronto, it's a coin flip with the Red Sox, and them playing the Yankees.
Dog noon.
I
Yeah,
know.
what's up with the dog?
My apologies. I have 2 dogs over here now. My normal,
Oh.
like my dog, she's always nice. She doesn't bark all the time. My cousin's off. Whoa, my dog actually barked this time. My cousin's off to vacation in the great state of Hawaii, and he
Ooh.
brought his dog over here. So dog sitting now.
What?
So the 2
Brought that
dogs
up.
are doing something. Yeah, the dogs are doing something. I just think the Orioles can possibly pull something off.
Yeah, they could. You
And
know what?
I think with how they're structured right now and how lots of the AL East is pretty 50-50, I think there's a chance that they can make it to the wild card easily. I would
Yeah,
love to see it
that's great.
too.
We're going to put them in wild card.
Yeah, let's put 'em in
because
wild
you know what?
card.
Camden Yards is a nice ballpark.
All right, Cleveland.
They
Below
could be a
average.
wild card as well.
You're saying below average?
Yeah.
I think with the division that they have, I mean, it would be a
Terrible.
disappointment to not make the wild card. I think they have
Hmm.
wild card hopes, but I don't think they'll go beyond a wild card like first round.
All right.
I mean, yeah. All right, the Rockies. We all know where they're going. Our
Time
first
to
dumpster
go.
fire.
First casualty.
It's time.
And we might have a couple in a row. Detroit.
I would say they're in the dumps.
Yeah,
No,
Detroit's
3 in a row. We have 3 in a row right
We
here.
got 3 dumpster fires in a row.
Yeah,
baby.
3 dumpster fires.
Kansas
Yeah,
City, there's not a lot of explanation there.
Kansas City. That's interesting. Of all the teams that are in the dumpster fire right now, Kansas City is the only one that has been able to go to the World Series and they won it.
Hey,
And now
you know
they
what?
just
That's small market baseball for you.
also
This is
the
what's going to happen
Nationals
though with
too.
the Nationals. Nationals won the World Series, and they're going to have years of pity. Years of pity. They're like
Yeah,
a
that's
one and
right.
done team.
Pretty much.
All right.
Same
Much
with
for
the
that Mickey
Royals
Mouse
a little
trophy.
bit too.
All right, let's go now to the smallest market actually right now in the MLB, which is Milwaukee.
And
Mm,
it's a head race between them and the Cardinals in terms of who's going to win that division.
I think postseason for the Brewers.
Yeah, I think so too. Even though they just traded away Josh Hader.
Yeah, that was an interesting deal there. But again, I still think that they're a good team. They have a lot of good players. Pitching is still strong, and hitting is good as well. And it's going to be them and the Cards again. So may the best team win, but
Yeah.
they'll probably be a postseason. All right, the Angels.
Dumpster fire.
Of course, we're going to throw them in dumpster fire.
Easily, it's a dumpster fire over there, and they should trade everyone.
This is below dumpster fire. They didn't
This
even
is
trade
the
away.
this
They
is
didn't
the
trade away
definition
Ohtani.
of they are the Detroit Lions of the MLB.
Oof.
Wow.
They are, and you know it too. They have so much good talent on that team. They just waste it. They waste the talent. I mean, like right now, Mike Trout. You know about the news lately, right? He has a rare
He's got
case
the
of
rare
a
condition.
back
Yeah, rare
injury
case of his
that's going to
back. Yeah.
be throughout the rest of his life. Seems
Yep.
the dog's agreeing to, and they just almost. I think they've ruined his career possibly. But now they're going to do Shohei Ohtani, and then they're going to ask for trades for him, and they're going to get nothing in return.
Yeah, this is such a disaster. And they just got rid of Marsh today. You hear that? Brandon Marsh is gone. So very
Yeah,
weird that what they did with him as well. They
that-
are when they set that franchise record 14 loss, I knew that all hope was lost. When they were doing really well in April, I said, you watch, this is all facade. By late May, this team will be horrible. And sure enough, they started losing games left and right. And they dropped 14 in a row, get beat up by the Astros. They get beat up by every team that's right now in contention for the playoffs. They have no hope. That team is a failure.
Failure.
yeah.
They're a failure.
And the worst thing is, we all had hope for them going into the season, but the thing is, that's how it is every single year with the Angels.
We
False
always
hope.
want
Is
freaking Mike
we always
Trout
have
to
false hope because
succeed.
the thing is, they're a likable team. The players on that team are actually really likable, and they're pretty good. The one thing people forget to realize is they don't know what pitching is. They don't know that it exists at all. All they just think is that Shohei Ohtani will carry them to the promised land, and he can't do it by himself.
Nope. Yeah, that's a
That's why
sad,
they are
so sad. If
they
this
are a
was
dumpster fire, and they are the Detroit Lions of the MLB right now.
if this was basketball, the Angels would be like one of the best teams because they'd have that dual power with Trout and Otani. But honestly, this is not basketball. This is a 9 player game. So
Yeah, they'd end
they
up like
can't
the
just
Brooklyn
rely on
Nets.
one player or 2 players. So yeah, that
Yeah.
team is horrible. But okay, now we go up north to the Bay Area for the A's.
We all know where they're going.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez.
there's already
Dumpster
enough
fire.
discussion
Easily,
about them.
I mean, even before going into the season, they were a dumpster fire. They were just ownership just decreased the payroll by half or even less than that,
Mhm.
or a bit more than that. It's just going downhill. It's going downhill right now, and I'm even surprised we didn't sell more players. We didn't even sell Sean Murphy.
Yeah, the Montas and Trevino were the two big sells by the A's. But again, they're right now dealing with a lot of issues. I mean, they're gonna really have to build that team up again. And they also have issues right now with the stadium. with all those rumors about that, and
The FedEx
really
Field, yeah.
low attendance rates. So there's a lot of things to worry about if you're working in the front office of Oakland.
Yeah, I mean, with Oakland as an A's fan, I love the team. It's ownership
Mhm.
and how it's managed. It's just terrible.
Yeah, they're mismanaged.
Possibly one of the worst, or possibly the worst in the MLB. And will it get any better? Unless John Fisher is willing to sell the team to who was it? I think it was Lakeup was thinking of buying it. And I even remember seeing in post someone posted on Instagram, and the comments were just like, "Please, Fisher, just sell the team to Lakeup. Just do it, please. We won't ask for anything more." And I agree. Fisher needs to sell the team. But the thing is, he's a businessman. Same with the
Mhm.
majority of the other owners in the MLB. And while he knows his team probably sucks, is as long as he's getting some poor schmucks like me and the other A's fans out there to go to games, he's going to be saying, "Oh, I'm making money. I'm okay then."
Money.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I apologize to saying like that. We're poor schmucks. We're just dedicated to the team. We love them.
And
It's
now you gotta
just,
go. And now you gotta go across the bay.
no, I mean, I will admit I like AT&T Park, or they call it Oracle Park, much more than the Coliseum. I like going to that stadium more. I'm not afraid to say that.
All right, Philadelphia. They made moves to the trade deadline. You know
um,
what? I'm still gonna say they're below average.
yeah, I agree. Below
Yeah, I
average. I
think
think
they're a
they missed the
little
I think the
playoffs,
overrated.
Phillies are just gonna find a way to Philly it.
Yep, they're gonna Philly it again.
or they're gonna rely too heavily on Bryce Harper coming back, and then something happens, and they just, as you
Yep,
say, they Phillied it.
yep. They have Syndergaard, but again, I don't think it's.
What's with the freaking Phillies and try to get old Mets pitchers? First they got Zach Wheeler, and now they're
Yeah,
just like,
something's going on
you
there.
know what? It didn't work out in Los Angeles with the Angels. So you know what? We're just gonna trade for Noah Syndergaard.
Noah Syndergaard, I think when he got signed by the Angels, that was kind of their big play to show everyone, oh look, we can actually get good pitching. But they forgot to realize that this isn't prime Noah Syndergaard anymore. This is old, injured Noah Syndergaard.
Mhm.
But like right now, what the Phillies are doing are just saying we're going to try and make a playoff run, pretty much, or try
False
and maintain
optimism.
it. Yeah, false hope and optimism. All right, let's get out to our Yinzer viewers, or the OG Yinzers in
The
Pittsburgh.
Steelers are going to dumpster fire.
Yeah, Yeah, the Pirates are a dumpster fire. It's
Yep.
it's easy. It's easy to say that. They're on the same course as like Oakland of dumpster fire.
I know
PNC
they.
Park. What a shame that it's probably gonna be renamed after what happened to Heinz Field to some
And
from
PNC Park's a nice park. It's
Yeah,
It
it's
nice.
is a
very
nice park.
beautiful there.
It's very nice. All right,
I know
San Diego. This is a challenge.
Yeah,
This is
I
a,
think they're World Series contenders.
you think they're World Series contenders?
I think so.
You know why I think they're more postseason.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get eliminated by Los Angeles Dodgers.
No, I have a weird suspicion because their head coach is, or their manager is Bob Melvin. Now it could be
Bob Melvin's
different.
he's not bad.
I like Bob Melvin. He just sucks when the playoffs come around. I'm not kidding you. We've only been able to win, I think, since my time watching them when he was on the team. We've only been able to win one series out of the many 5+ times we've gone to the playoffs. Every other time we've either gotten swept or we lost.
Hmm.
So I'm just weirded out in saying that. But the thing is, now Bob Melvin is not on the Athletics, and now he has a high-powered team. But the thing is, I think more so postseason. I just weird superstition of Bob Melvin, love him and everything like that. He's just not a good playoff coach for some reason, just off of his
Hmm.
time with the Athletics.
I think today though, with all their additions, you get Hader, you get Soto, you get Bell now. They're they're scary on paper. And I
That's the
think that
thing.
the talent that they have, I mean, they did have a horrible playoff campaign 2 years ago, but I think they have had a lot of growing pains. They have good pitching. They're a contender now, and I think with Soto, that's going to elevate their lineup. Uh, Better outfield, better defense in total. So I think, in my eyes, I see that as a World Series bound. I think they're definitely going to make it to the NLCS right now, unless they screw up down the line. But I do think that they could be World Series bound.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think right now, if you asked people, like just general MLB fans, who's going to make it to the World Series, these three teams would definitely have a big
Well,
portion
you
of the
have to
vote.
include the other one too.
Yep, we're going to get to
You
the
know
other
we
Southern
have.
California
We have
team.
to include. Yeah.
But
Sadly.
let's go to
First,
the Texas Rangers out of Arlington Globe Life Stadium.
Below
I mean, they're
average,
not as bad
or
as
they're not dumpster fire level bad. I think they're below average
Below
bad.
average. I think we all know they're not going to make the
Because they've
playoffs.
at least spent money during the offseason, but the thing is they spent too much money on just two players.
Mhm.
Corey
both
Seager and
play in the
Marcus
freaking
Semien.
same position.
Pretty much, yeah. Red Sox.
Red Sox.
Yeah.
You want to just put them in below average or dumpster fire?
Yeah,
I have
I
no
think
idea.
below average because they're only 3 out of the wild card.
Yeah.
However, with this recent trade deadline, all the drama that went on with them, and
It's
all the
nearing dumpster fire.
iffy moves that they made, I would probably put them in below average. I think that they mathematically still have a chance. However, a lot of things need to go right for them to reach the wild card. So I think
That's
below
the thing.
average is good for right now.
All right. The Giants.
I
They're
think
hard.
below average.
Yeah, I
well,
want to put below average too, sadly. Based on
I go
with
wild
everything
card.
that's going on. It's not looking good right now. We didn't really buy anyone at the trade deadline. We sold more so. Even though the Darren Ruff
You
trade
really
was
sell.
quite
That's the
surprising.
thing.
No, we sold Kirk Casilla and we sold Darren Ruff. And I think we almost sold Carlos Rondon, but we just rejected that. We said we weren't going to do it. We didn't do it.
It's like, we're not gonna go all the way, but we're just gonna lightly. We're just gonna call
Yeah.
it here. All right.
All right. Let's
Older
get to
brother
the
syndrome.
Okay, shut up. They're not older brothers. They haven't won a legit World Series in like 10 plus years. Or even
All right,
longer.
Dodgers.
Yeah,
I
World
think this is
Series.
without saying they're a World Series contender again.
I think they're the last ones that can be legitimate like World
Yeah.
Series contenders.
Yeah, I think
Easily.
that these four, those are the top four. I don't think we're going to get anything more impressive than that with these remaining teams. Let's
Except
go.
for the
The
Mets.
Mets might have something.
Mets, maybe. With the Mets, maybe.
I mean, DeGrom is back.
That's true.
Yeah, but his last performance there in the minor leagues was not very good.
Let me see here. I think DeGrom.
He got homered off of twice. And he only lasted 4 innings.
Yeah, right now DeGrom is. I mean, they're losing to the Nationals.
Let's go.
Nationals
All right.
have hope.
Yeah,
right.
let's see here. Nelson Cruz
right now.
Nelson Cruz must be leading the team.
All right, first we gotta get to the Arizona Diamondbacks and
Dumpster fire.
Of course, they're a dumpster fire. What else do you expect from?
It's easy.
You don't
to
know
say.
what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. They're just like the Coyotes. Don't know what they're doing, but the Coyotes are in the worst scenario. All right, the Mets.
Oh jeez, I probably give them postseason.
Yeah, I give them postseason too.
Yeah, I'll say postseason. They should make the postseason at least.
If freaking Scherzer and DeGrom actually get up, then we might be having a different conversation. But I don't know. The Mets got to have a lot right going their way.
Yep.
And of course they got to beat out the Braves, who are hot on their tail.
I think the Braves could make the World Series though. I have a weird feeling that they could.
Yeah,
the
you
Braves,
never know with these teams.
Yeah.
I think the Braves they were actually really bad last year. I didn't know this until last night that the Orioles have a better record as of right now than the Braves did 1 year ago at the same time in the season.
Don't tell me the Orioles are going to win the
Orioles
World
are gonna get
Series.
up.
So this is what they said on ESPN.
Series.
The Braves last year, remember when them and the Yankees like played each other when they were the two hottest teams in late August of last year?
Yeah.
It was August 24th when Gary Sanchez hit the walk-off. Those two teams, I think, set an MLB record when they both had 12 wins going into a series against one another. And the Yankees won that. I think they won that series, if I'm not mistaken. I think they took 2 out of the 3 games that last year. However, that Braves team, that's what sparked them to get into the playoffs, getting really hot in August.
You're
And
welcome,
then, of
Atlanta.
course, you had the Cardinals too that went on that historic run as well to make it. So, yeah, honestly, the Braves, I would not count them out. They have been playing pretty well. They were actually they had a bad start of the season, but they got really hot at the right time in May and June, and into July too. But let's go now to the Chicago White Sox.
Below average.
Yeah, this has
I mean, they're
been
not exactly dumpster fire because of the division they play in, but
No, they're not.
Mhm.
Maybe Tony
Yeah.
La Russa will make them a dumpster fire, but
they're on their way.
they're on their way to dumpster fire.
Yeah, and you have Anderson. He's going to
They
be out
got
for a couple games now.
Yeah, oh yeah, because of the whole suspension thing.
Yeah.
They got Diekman.
Yep, they got Jake Diekman, and that was it. Minnesota Twins.
I think
Wild
they're
card.
about the same as the freaking.
And then they'll get eliminated by the New York Yankees because that's the annual tradition.
You think wild card for them?
Yep. and
Yeah, I think wild card
it's a
for them.
tradition.
Yeah, then that they lose to the Yankees in like the
Yeah, they
first
always
round.
lose to the Yankees.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's like
why that's why the win is not does not exist in their name. The Chicago Cubs. Dumpster fire.
Yep, they're a dumpster fire.
They're yeah.
They
These
didn't
next
smell.
three are all dumpster fires.
yeah, the national
Yep.
trading ground. They have to be a dumpster fire.
Yeah, and
And then
Reds.
Cincinnati, they were horrible to start the year, 3-22.
And then
Yeah,
they sold everything.
Yep.
Let's see how many of these teams actually won a World Series in the past 15 plus years, and they're in the dumpster fire. The Royals, the Cubs, and the Nationals. 3.
15 years. Well, oh, that's 17 years for the Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we can include them too then.
Yeah, let's say 21st century. Oh, then we'd have to add them too.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Diamondbacks.
That Diamondbacks, that's just depressing to see.
That's the only thing they can hang on to.
Have the
Still,
Rockies ever won a World Series?
no.
No. We
Who's
don't
the
want
other?
to.
Nope.
There's 3 other teams that haven't won it, right?
Mariners haven't won it.
Mariners have never won it. Astros have never won it. Yes, I say the Astros have never won it.
I
Didn't Pittsburgh never win?
Stay mad. No,
think
Pittsburgh's
they
won
have.
it. Pittsburgh's won it. The Rangers have never won because they got cucked by the Giants.
Yeah, I think
That
they're
time.
the only. Oh, and the
The Bre-
Brewers, right?
The Brewers have never won it. The Rays have never won it. And I guess I don't know. Should we count the Cleveland Guardians now? Because they're no longer the Indians. They're the Guardians,
I mean,
and we're demonetized.
and
Dang. Yeah, there's 6 MLB teams that have never won the World Series. Padres.
The Padres have never won it. I don't think have they ever made it to the World
Brewers,
Series.
they have.
Rangers,
They're in '98.
Mariners,
They lost to the
Rockies,
Yankees.
and the Rays. So the
That's right,
Guardians have won the World Series.
Yeah, but that was like 50 years ago.
Yeah,
That's true. Orioles won too?
yeah. The Orioles have won the World Series before. Yeah, that was like during Brooks Robinson though. When they were, that's when they were good. Now it's just depression. Or like no one showing up to their beautiful park at all.
During the Earl Weaver days.
The Earl, oh my God, the
Love
Earl
Earl
Weaver
Weaver.
days.
The greatest.
The greatest to ever live.
All right, there's our list. You know what? And on that note, suck it, Washington. You're gonna be in the doghouse.
Yep, you're welcome, Washington. You're prepared to experience pain just like Oakland does every year.
Mm.
Because you won a World Series.
Yeah. We haven't A's haven't won one in like 25 plus years or even 30 years. So,
No getting up.
yep.
Yeah, Washington's going to be bad in almost every sport. I think hockey's their only hope.
Nope. Not even.
Basketball, disaster. The
Bradley Beal,
football
and that's
team
it.
is terrible.
Yeah, no one shows up to the training camp.
Yep. Over in Lansdowne. Yeah, this is an embarrassment.
Yep. The nation's capital did not
Landover.
get up, pretty much.
Yeah, that is not good. They're not a sports city anymore. They're definitely more into the politics.
And that's the number one thing they always complain about.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah. Maybe living off of that 2019 team for a while is a good idea.
Yeah.
Because today
Or
you
just
just
have,
lost your franchise player.
pretty much. Or you sign, like, sign Mitch McConnell to a deal or something like that and have him play.
Yeah,
Make it
honestly,
real political.
Mitch McConnell can be a
The new
bullpen guy.
manager.
He's the turd. They're gonna change it to
turtle.
the Washington Turtles.
The Washington Turtles.
The Washington Turtles.
And you could bring in who else would be a good player for the Turtles?
Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, Ted Cruz as well. Ted Cruz
Ted
could be a good.
Cruz.
He'd be a good third baseman. The ball go right through his legs. And you could have a couple congressional leaders too, like the guy from Ohio there, the guy who used to wrestle. They can bring him in. And yeah, that team could be an utter dysfunction. They'd be just as bad as what's going on right now.
And they'd win it all because then they'd just come up with like some law saying we must win.
Yeah, they pass
You're
legislation.
not allowed to win. We're allowed to always make it. If
By
not,
day,
you
I
will all go to
will-
jail. Or
Yeah,
you'll be
their
fined.
thing would be Capitol Hill by day, Nationals Park by night.
Yeah, don't they play their like annual softball game
Yeah,
there?
they do. They play their annual
And-
softball game.
And they
there.
recently had it, and I think the Democrats got blown up by the Republicans like 16-0.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That didn't even make the news. Like, I gotta look this up.
Damn.
because I think it was like on some post
Piece of
where I think
chaos
it was
crossover.
like it was some lady senator, I don't know. Was it she got a double? And then I think she just walked back to the Democratic dugout and she just flipped off the Republicans, and then someone posted later, the Democrats proceeded to lose 16-0.
Oh my gosh. I gotta look this up. They do U.S. House of Representatives. They haven't played this one in a while. The press. What is this? Wins and losses. Oh, the press corps versus the lawmakers.
Hey, I'll be right back, boys.
No
If I'm not
problem.
back on the stream, thanks to anyone who showed up. So see you in a bit. Well,
Dog doing.
Yeah, the press corps win every year when the press play the lawmakers. That's hilarious. I'm trying to find this one though of the congressional softball game. I didn't even hear about this though. Like I knew about it, but I thought COVID like did away with it.
Anyone getting up?
Yeah, it's kind of
Republicans don't care.
That is wild.
I'm gonna be like Pete, and then you say, "Wear your
Wear your masks.
bleeping mask."
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. Unless we want to continue monitoring. I don't think there's a lot of trickling trades coming in though.
No, not really.
Can check on Ken.
This is how we think it stands with the MLB. Hope you all enjoy.
Yeah, Ken Rosenthal. Let's see if he has tweeted anything.
You.
Nothing here, no.
Yep. So it's pretty much dead with the trade deadline. Things are coming past. Juan Soto's now a Padre. The Mets didn't get up enough. And yep, there you go. Another year in the books.
Mm-hmm. This one will always be remembered though, I think, for the Juan Soto deal.
The Juan deal.
Yeah, that'll be it. I think they'll also talk about Castillo and all the drama there, and also the A's giving away Montas and Trevino to the Yanks. But other than that, I don't really remember. I'm not going to remember a whole lot from this deadline.
We're
I
just gonna be
think,
like, Will Smith was an Astro.
yeah, Will Smith's going to be on the Astros now. But yeah, also I think the Nats fans, this is going to be one of the hardest years. This might be the worst year because they got rid of two big players who played a key role in their 2019 championship.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's going to
But
be a tough one.
it's the price you pay.
Yep. Baseball's it's a business at the end of the day. Vasquez said that last night in his interview with the press before he got escorted.
And he's like, all right, I gotta go because I can give away the pitching plans.
Yep, now I got to give away all the hitting plans and the pitching plans to the Astros. But yeah, honestly, the rest of the season is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. A lot of these teams in the WC column, they're going to be making that run, and even a few on the below average, like Phillies, Red Sox, even the White Sox, they can still make it too. But again, I think as of right now, we have a good understanding of who is going to be top notch right now. So we'll just wait and see on that. Again, this year there's been a lot of streaks for teams. You've seen teams go on streaks where they've won 10, 15 games in a row, and then you've seen other teams that just collapse. So again, I think it's really going to be determined by how well teams can finish off the season. There's still about 55 to 60 games left, depending on who you're rooting for. So again, there's still a lot of baseball left to be played, and it really depends on how the momentum shifts down the stretch.
But yeah, I think our next form of content will be once we get a clear idea of what the playoff picture is going to be for the MLB. But that's going to do it. We might do some more live commentary for games coming up. Hopefully, there will be some good ones that we can view. Maybe we could see the debut of one. So we're also going to be doing some other additional sports content as well. The NFL season's trying to be coming up. And also, we're redoing our own Premier League, which I will be the unofficial commissioner of.
Yep, Premier League starts Friday, so that's going to be big as well. We'll get some soccer content out. World Cup comes up in November, so that's going to be exciting as well. We're going to have some talks about the World Cup coming up. Premier League, MLS is in session too, and yeah, NFL training camps are now underway. Big news with Watson, and yeah, of course, we'll give you some NBA news when we receive some too. So,
But Donovan Mitchell gets traded.
yeah, that'll be the big one. And also now with the NBA investigating the Knicks, and the whole scenario there with Brunson. So we'll get you more when things come out. But for now, that is going to do it for tonight. I'm DJ Aceman alongside Big Don and FKP. We are any given Monday morning. That's going to do it for tonight. Have a good one, everyone.
Goodbye.
See ya.